My name is Caitlin, and this is my testimony about how God saved my life.
Oh Israel, the one who formed you says, don't be afraid.
I have a brain and spinal injury that leaves me non-functional and in constant pain. 9 months ago, I was staying with my aunt and uncle in Florida when my dad, back in New York, suddenly got a feeling that something was wrong. When he called me and I didn't answer, he immediately knew that something was very, very wrong with me. He called my mom, who called my uncle, who knocked on the door to the guest bedroom where I was sleeping. When I didn't answer, he told my mom I was probably sleeping and that he could come check on me later. But my mom insisted that he go in. So he went into the guest bedroom and found me laying on the bed, unresponsive and barely breathing. He called 911 and the ambulance got there in record time. But by the time I made it to the hospital, I had completely stopped breathing and my heart had stopped pumping blood.
Through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown.
They resuscitated me with a defibrillator and put me on a ventilator in a medically induced coma for 4 days. I was alive, but barely. My brain had been without oxygen for 3 minutes, and I was suffering a lot of brain damage. I had gone into septic shock and kidney failure. I was hypothermic, and I had aspiration pneumonia from aspirating on my own saliva while trying to breathe. My parents had to sit there and watch my unconscious body, a machine breathing for me, not knowing if it was the last time they were going to see me alive. I have no memory or vision of being so close to death and in a coma. I didn't hear my mom read passages of the Bible to me, and I didn't see the nurses praying over me. On the 5th day, they took me off the ventilator, not knowing if I was going to be able to breathe on my own. I did. The memories of the next week are fragmented and jumbled due to temporary amnesia. My mind wasn't all there. I had forgotten how to talk and walk. I was in so much pain, only pain isn't really the right word. It's more like extreme discomfort in every cell of my body, like I wasn't supposed to be in my body. All I could do was moan and breathe in pain, just begging for it to stop, drifting in and out of consciousness. I didn't want to be in my body. I didn't want to be alive. Then one night I had a dream. It was about the disciple Thomas. I saw him put his finger into Jesus' side in order to believe that Jesus had really rose from the dead. And then I saw Jesus turn to me and say, "Do not doubt me." The next day, my mind was clear. I could talk normally. The doctors and physical therapists who had been telling me I would need months of inpatient rehab watched in disbelief as I completely relearned how to walk again. After only 2.5 weeks in the hospital, I left not much worse off than I had been before, and I thanked God for it.
You are precious to me, and I love you.
However, I initially dismissed the dream. I didn't want to think about my near miss with death or the weird dream or anything else about my trip to Florida. I just wanted to be healed, but I was not healed. And like Thomas, I had trouble coming to terms with the miracle I had been given. I struggled moving on with my still debilitating symptoms, wondering why God would have saved me just for me to keep suffering. For months, I felt like I was falling deeper and deeper into hopelessness and despair. It still felt wrong to be in my body, to be alive. I began to wish that I had been found in that guest room too late. I began to doubt that I had been saved for a reason.
I am God. From eternity to eternity, I am God.
I realized that I was doubting Jesus. Maybe I had always been doubting him. Love is a two-sided relationship, and I had never really treated God like I truly loved him. Yet he had loved me enough to save my life. All of that time I had spent stuck in bed, feeling so alone and hopeless. Jesus had been right there, laying right next to me, and I hadn't seen it. He never forgot me in my suffering, even when I forgot him. I was supposed to be dead, and yet God had seen something in me worth saving. I spent so much time questioning God, searching for a reason, a purpose to make my life worth saving, that I forgot that the Bible says over and over again that God has a plan for us and that it will unfold in His time, in His way, not ours. My life sucks right now, and maybe yours does too. And you just want it to end. But the fact that you're still here and still fighting means that God is not done with you. He knows our pain. He walks with us through our suffering. Sometimes you just have to keep going, because there's going to be something on the other side that's going to make all of it worth it.
No one can snatch anyone out of my hand.
And His plan will show itself in time.